Thanks for tuning in to another show in the Next Reel family of film podcasts.
Want to skip those ads and get early access?
Become a member at truestory.fm/join and discover all the other great perks that come with it.
Welcome to the Film Board. I'm Pete Wright. Each month, we take on one new release and put it on the table to figure out what it's doing, what it's responding to, and whether it earns a place in the larger conversation about movies. This is a spoiler-filled discussion. It's opinionated, sometimes argumentative, but it's grounded in the idea that movies don't exist in isolation. They're part of a long, ongoing dialogue. If you're here because the film got under your skin, you're in the right place. The Sully family has found sanctuary among a new clan of Na'vi. Jake has learned their ways, adopted their customs, become one of them. But the Resource Development Administration hasn't forgotten about Pandora, and Colonel Miles Kuarich, against all logic and mostly all cinematic reason, has returned with soldiers, machines, with corporate backing and military precision. Jake realizes his family has become a target. "They're not going to stop," he says, or something very much like it. "The children are in danger. Neytiri rages with the fury of a mother pushed too far. There's a human child caught between worlds, belonging nowhere, fitting nowhere. The Sullys must flee to a new region of Pandora they've never seen before. New creatures, new customs, new Na'vi who don't trust them. Jake must prove himself once again, but the military follows. Technology clashes with nature. Mech suits stomp through sacred grounds. Soldiers in tactical gear pound fists into palms while delivering threats that sound like they were written by Lockheed PR teams. There's a spectacular battle. Air, water, land, innocent lives hang in the balance. Someone dies. Someone we've grown to care about. The victory tastes like ash." And Quaritch, did he escape to threaten them another day? That's right. This is Avatar, another one. The Film Board gathers. I'm Pete Wright, and today we're diving, or perhaps more accurately, erupting into James Cameron's Avatar: Fire and Ash, the third installment in his some odd film commitment to the proposition that if you make something look expensive enough, people won't notice you're telling the same story over and over and over again. Joining me today, Tommy Metz III, who I'm legally required to inform you is taller than a Na'vi and has dangerously similar opinions about the human race. And Steve Sarmento, whose expertise in motion-graded adaptive frame rates rendered at 48 frames per second and selectively applied motion blur is matched only by his ability to stay awake during 3-hour runtimes. Hello, both of you. Welcome to Pandora.
Thank you so much for having us, Pete.
Wow. Okay. I don't know what movie you were describing, but that's not the movie I saw.
Oh, it's every movie we saw. You look, opening thoughts on Avatar. This is the third. The first was came out in 2009. Told the story of Jake's dead brother, Jake taking his place in space, becoming the Blue Man. Book 2, the Way of Water. Jake is now part of the Blue Man group and has to go learn new stuff. That happened 13 years after the first one in 2022, and now 2025 offers us Avatar: Fire and Ash, and I would love to know where you guys stand on this franchise. Steve?
Well, you mentioned 48 frames per second, and what I decided to do was not do any of that because I don't care. I'm not paying that much money to go see a movie I've seen again in 3D high frame rate. Because, yes, it is all about the spectacle, but I've paid for the spectacle twice. I'm not paying for it again. And I just saw it on a regular big screen. And I don't know if that impacted my viewing experience or took anything away from it, but I just am tired of spectacle over story. Spectacle should support the story, not supplant it. As you were reading that summary and you talked about someone dies, someone we've grown to care about, I thought, I don't know because I don't care about any of them. I'm like, who died? I had to go back through like, wait, who? Somebody died? I don't know. Didn't move me.
That's so funny you said that because when Pete said that, I was like, uh-oh. I do not remember that either. These I did pay for the spectacle 3D IMAX because I know it's the only way that these movies will move me. I know that this is a world for people. This is not for me. I can't really stand it, and it's incredible the amount of talent, technical talent and performances and resources are being used to make something for me so instantly disposable and forgettable. It really is just and because I'm a James Cameron fan and I can't not think about use all of this for something else. Just do something else.
Yes.
So yeah, unfortunately, I was not welcome back to Pandora.
Why the thing that I've been thinking about, we had, because of the holiday, we chose this one because it was the big movie and we were all curious to see what $400 million would do this time. And so we waited, even though this came out in 2025, to record this. And the whole thing I've been thinking about over the last couple of weeks since I saw the movie was, why do I have to sit with this in my head for so long? What I wanted to do was let it go immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. I call myself a nerd for this kind of stuff, right? I love spaceships. I love other worlds. I love all that. And I don't understand. I legitimately don't understand myself when it comes to these movies. By all rights, this has all the parts of other universes that I do adore, that I am a legitimate fan of. Why does this one that has cost so much blood and sweat and toil on behalf of thousands of creators to create this world, why is this so disposable to me? I don't understand it. I see these movies and I'm done with these movies and they are gone out of my psyche. I can't understand what it takes to become a fan of these movies. I guess that's my opening statement. I walked out. Yeah. I did see the spectacle. I saw it as big as I could see it. I saw it in the full 3D. I saw it in D-Box. So I was moved about, and the D-Box experience was subpar. You could tell, all the money went to something else because they did not give the D-Box team anything to work with. And I every time the frame rate changed, which we'll talk about, I said to myself out loud, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Just stop it!"
So that's what was happening.
Well, okay. Since you're asking, let's talk just a little bit about the technical achievement of this movie. So we've done The Hobbit, right? We've done The Hobbit, which came out in 48 frames per second. Ang Lee has done some 48 frames per second stuff. Even I think was the first Avatar all 48 frames per second. I don't remember.
No, they weren't doing it that back then. Just 3D.
Just 3D. So this one has adapted, and I think Way of Water 2 has evolved the technology behind frame rates to the point where he's now doing adaptive frame rates. So the action stuff, if you're in the air or you're underwater, you're at full 48 frames per second, generally speaking. When you're at, the Blue Man Group is talking to one another and you have close-ups on faces, it scales it back down. Now, is it it's not just switching between 24 and 48. Not at all. There is a lot going into this. And when you read the technical jargon behind how Cameron's adaptive frame rate works, he is inserting frames in all kinds of places, both to ramp the change effectively, but also, so it's not jarring. But generally speaking, there is a lot of play, a lot of swing in frame rate discussions for this movie. What I find interesting, I watched both of the previous movies leading up to this, and I watch it on the Vision Pro. It turns out the only way to watch Way of Water as James Cameron intended it is on the Apple Vision Pro, because it has all of the adaptive frame rate, all of the stuff built in, and the 3D. So you can watch it in 3D, adaptive frame rate. It changes all over. It is as awful on the Vision Pro as it is in the theater. Mostly you just want to watch it in 2D, and that will let you feel like what the story really is. So does that all make sense? That's
It does, and I'm
on.
embarrassed for the second time because I thought there was something wrong with the projector or I was going crazy. But what it looked like to me was it kept going back and forth between video game and a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Video game and a movie.
Yes.
And I didn't know if there was just something weird with the 3D. You know, it didn't occur to me that things were literally changing like that because I hadn't read anything about it. So that makes a ton of sense. And for it not being jarring, it was pretty jarring every time it happened. Like I know in the fact that I noticed it, and instead of going adaptive frame rate, I said something's wrong with my glasses because I noticed it every single time.
See, that's a technology that they should have used that in the first one, because that's where we're really going with Jake Sully, where I'm in the real world, I can't use my legs, and then I get into my avatar and I have this rich experience that's really vivid. That would make sense to go from like 2D to 3D frame rate, whereas the difference between being on the ground and underwater or in the air, that's why there's no storytelling reason for a richer experience. I mean, I guess the thrill of that or something, but that's not intuitive. It sort of speaks to Tommy's confusion of I don't understand what's going versus, oh, I'm in my physical body, I'm in my avatar body. There's a transition that would make sense. So, wow, that's really just unsettling. And again, it comes back to the point of we're doing things, and it's not supporting the story, or it's not logically supporting the story. It's spectacle for the sake of spectacle, or to do it as a technological exercise, not in service of the story itself. It's not enhancing the story. It looks like a bug more than a feature.
Since we've dropped the word story, which I'm not sure has been dropped about this movie in the making of it, we should talk about it. The movie picks up after The Way of Water pretty quickly. Sully family is dealing with grief from the death of someone important. And we have, I don't even know how to, like, we're still dealing with the whales. The whales have become a real principal cast in this movie, and they have piercings. They're pierced whales.
Oh, God, that's right.
You guys.
Yes.
I just want to make sure that the table is set with whales have pierced like lips and pieces on their heads that may have been ears. They're pierced whales. And you guys, that's the kind of movie this is. And I just need that's table setting stuff, pierced whales. Everything else we talk about is sitting on the foundation of pierced whales. Decorative
all the way down.
Whale piercings. Yep. It's pierced whales all the way down. How did the story itself hit you? If we take all the flair away, do you find that this journey of Sully, of the Raiders, that we meet the Ash people, of the Raiders, of our new villain, the Queen Ash, and the story of the sort of economics and the trade meshing into Quaritch's mission of destruction, does any of that stick with you? Why are you already nodding your heads?
No, it doesn't. It's the whole movie is just sort of the American history of Native American coded, like, historical fact of what everything happened and how it works. It's the exact same movie that the last one was. It involves a lot of the same, like let me say this. When we first saw the wind traders, I don't know their names, but the ones that fly around, when we saw those ships, those jean jacket like ships floating through the air from Nope, I was like, oh, okay, good. Because it starts with just two blue people riding on the back of fake things down a fake thing. And I'm like, okay, so he's not listening to me. And then when I saw the trader ships, I got a sense of wonder again. I thought those were really, really beautiful. I felt that one other time when they really used the size, when they had the big whale conference.
The Tulkun.
When they were all like standing up, and it reminded me of the trees talking in Lord of the Rings. That the size of it made me feel. But then really what I felt so much more in the movie was a lack of awe. We've just seen it all already. There's nothing really in this one that we haven't seen in the second one. in the first one. And so when you're just left with that, there's just not enough. And it's so weird to me. I know movies are hard, but when you're making something out of whole cloth, meaning it's not like he's waiting for the light to get right. He's not, these are all made in a black box. He has complete control over timing, pacing, everything. And yet the story felt so messy. There's too much of it. Too many people are all spread out. And it's that same, the young kids scrappy-doo and get in trouble. And then the adults have to go save them over and over and over again. It's just the same beats.
And the same climactic battle at the end of the commerce versus nature. Steve, I'm sorry. It was your turn.
No, it's fine. I mean, coming back to Spider, I thought, okay, we're setting a ticking clock. Okay, we get on the traders. It's like, now we have this issue because he's with the Na'vi all the time. So he's got his mask and his breathing apparatus. And so he's there 24/7, where in the prior film he wasn't. So we've got this issue of that. We've got a ticking clock. We've got something until that's now an inconvenience. So we'll just magic it away. So that evil magic that away. And I thought, well, okay, so we're going to magic stuff away. That bothers me. So we've got questions like, how does AOL work? All of that. And then we've got the one sort of like the mini Sigourney Weaver, right? Who can't, in the whatever, when she's connected to the network, she can't get pushed through. And that's never answered why with the Sullies band together and they're able to push through at the end. I'm like, you're setting up barriers for yourself. You're asking questions that you never bother to answer. There's no reason like, why won't AOL let me in? We know there's no answer to that. And I thought you've created this whole thing with no need to answer it. You've disappointed us. And then the Quarch and Sully story of the stakes, I just never felt like, according to, the military or whatever, like Sully is like, public enemy number one, that it's like the mass public, like they want him hung. I'm like,
I didn't
how does
know
everybody
that
know?
was a thing.
Right. Where did that even come from? He's just this guy, but apparently there was no backgrounding that of he's this betrayer of his people. He's this, but that's what we're supposed to buy into. We get that fed really quick so that we've got some stakes supposedly there. The story just fell apart in so many ways. And then the new tribe, which I felt like was, a reset to, as Tommy brought up, the whole like indigenous peoples thing. So we've got to make them even more coded that way, which was really offensive. I felt just, collecting scalps and things like I was just, eye rolling at so many points with that.
That was rough and tone deaf, and making them not only indigenous coded Native American, but also making them like gun hungry. There was just like that became the apex mission of the Ash people, and that's unfortunate because I really do want to at least try to suss out what does work for you in the movie. And one of the things that does work for me is that the introduction of Queen Ash was actually good, and I was optimistic that this was a character that would end up being compelling, and it ended up being like completely dropped. Like she just became commissioned by the military by the end of the movie, and just another pawn in Quaritch's march to the sea. So I found that a gigantic sort of waste of character economy.
Especially because she was, my apologies, I don't know the actress that played her, but she did a great job. Like the physicality was really cool and interesting. I don't care. Like as I said to Peter before, Steve, I had an entire IMAX theater to myself because I had to see it at 9:30 in the morning. Oof. And so, but that let me, whenever people would go at each other, I would just burst out laughing. There's nothing lamer than seeing a fake person go. It's just like, ew, so catty. And then, but I thought she was neat, and I liked her look a lot. I mean, talking after the movie with friend of the show, Darnell Dash Smith, he hit on something that is very true that Cameron has done extremely well in this, and I would say maybe Battle Angel, Alita, Battle Angel,
Alita Battle,
Alita Battle Times. He really makes the eyes work.
Yes.
And every other movie makes it that Polar Express nightmare. The eyes, obviously they're oversized, they're Disney-ish and stuff, but they really are incredibly expressive. So I liked where they were going with her because she seemed interesting and not just sort of a weird blue robot like everyone else. But no, as soon as she became too interesting, they had to give it back to Stephen Lang and have him use a bunch of anachronistic jokes and puns and stuff.
Yeah, they were a very interesting group in terms of the story of the way they have isolated themselves, because they feel that we're disconnected from Iowa. We ask for these things. We're the outcasts, the outsiders. And I thought that's a very interesting, character piece for them of how did they become who they are, right? We have a reason to understand them. They're not just stock villains that are just, there to create conflict. I was like, oh, there's an interesting backstory to them. How can we resolve this? Where are we going to go with this? That was an interesting arc I was hoping to see. Tommy, the Wind Traders also, I thought, oh, great, we're going to a different part. We're going into someplace completely different, but we ended up doing the same thing all over. But there was something, it was very just awe-inspiring of like, oh, he really leveled it up. I was really looking forward to where we were going, but it just failed to execute, completely on so many things. But it still, things look cool to a certain extent, but I feel like it's become just sort of like we're working through it. I don't know how things got leveled up effects wise on that. It just, because there were some points where it really felt, I think particularly the ships, those airships, I don't know, maybe because I wasn't seeing it in the 3D IMAX, it just felt like, I really felt like they were walking around on a set. It just really looked that.
Oh,
that
when they're
way.
inside walking around on yes.
Yeah.
Which is hard for ships in general. I feel like when they're on the deck of the ships in particular, where there is something in the near distance behind them, like a mast and then sky, it always looked like a mat cutout to me. I don't know. Like there was none of the sort of, they're shooting in the volume kind of stuff. It was it all looked weird. I just want to say that Varang is the character, and it's played by Una Chaplin, granddaughter of Charles Chaplin.
Wow.
So so she was great. I have a theory about the eyes too, because I thought about the eyes a lot. One of the things that one of the reasons I think the movie gets the eyes right, the effects teams get the eyes right, is because they lean in on them not being human eyes. The problem with the Polar Express is my brain is trying to make them look like human eyes. As soon as I let go of that, I can actually get into the character of the eyes. And I think you can see it in Zoe Saldana's close-ups. Like when she is raging mother, you can feel her face has evolved over the course of these three movies, right? It's Toy Story 1 going back to Avatar when looking at her, right? It's just very different experience. You can really feel the immersion. I think the problem for me is the collision of the script with the way they shoot the movie. I mean, I don't know, but the opening sequence they're doing, Tom, you already mentioned it. They're flying, they're dragging things about, and they say things that the two characters that are chasing one another are saying like, ha, hee, got you. Right?
Hey bro,
remember
catch up,
this feeling?
bro?
Yeah, right. And it's timed so weirdly. It's timed as if they don't know they're talking to each other, right? And I think that is a testament to the technological achievement of this film, which is they shoot in all, like you said, in all green screen. They don't need to shoot coverage. They don't need to shoot reactions. Right. They just shoot and place these models in space, and that's incredible. That is incredible that exists. And also, I think it doesn't make good movies yet.
Right, because the actors aren't up to it, and I don't blame them.
Not
but if you're just in
a
box, it's like you're making. Yeah, it's like we're acting them. We're asking. You brought up Toy Story of like do a voiceover, like it's all animation.
Yeah,
and so they're all like in separate boxes making these movies.
But Cameron would say no. Cameron's press on this would say like he's been telling people, here's how we make this. We put them in suits. They're not really the same suits. They do have markers on them. Yeah. We do have rigs on their faces so that we can capture all this detail. But really, this is him. Cameron says this is the purest form of acting because There is no distraction of the set of anything else going on around them. This
That's
allows
ludicrous.
actors to be.
That is such a ludicrous way of thinking about acting and filmmaking.
Tell me why.
Take the world away and that's pure acting? No. Acting is a reaction to real people seeing real faces and the environment in which you're in. That's the only way to make it real. To say that there's no distraction while everyone's wearing green suits and has crap all over their face so you can't even see which way their eyes are going, that's not acting, that's reacting at best. That's crazy. Reacting to of just pretending that you're not seeing all of the insaneness that you're seeing and then going,
Yeah.
Well, I certainly don't want to come to the defense of Cameron as a director because for a movie that I'm not crazy about, but the technology is
so much.
No,
the technology is incredible. I just wish
the technology is stupid incredible. Like it's great, it's amazing. I just don't understand how I'm on Team Tom here. I don't understand how you can make that claim when I mean I guess his argument is this is there is no artifice. They're all just completely in their heads. They're in black suits. They are pretending at its peak. They don't have to. They're just emoting with one another, right? Because they're on set together, right? They're in the room together.
Yeah.
But and there are no cameras on them, right? There are no cameras because they're all sensors. So he's watching their performance as the Na'vi. My understanding, or he's watching their character avatars on screen as the humans are performing in this black box. So it's like black box theater performance. That's his argument. It's incredible that it can be done. I'm not sure it's up to snuff. Although I think some of the performances, given all of the artifice, were not terrible. I think they were asked to do too much for a bad script.
Yes.
The writing is so subpar, especially the dialogue. The plotting in the dialogue is just it's really first thought, best thought, very sanctimonious at times, overly dumbed down at times. I think he's trying to make a movie that can apply to every single or be accessed by every single quadrant, and as a result making a movie for no one. It's too dumb when it should be smart, and it's too sanctimonious when it should know how goofy it is. If sanctimonious is like self-serious is what I mean.
Yeah
I mean, do you remember where it fell apart for you specifically? Do you remember when you noticed, oh, this is not up to snuff?
Well, it depends, because there's always the movies make me feel crazy because the stuff that I like is also the stuff that I hate. Like I like all the human stuff. I want to spend more time there because I'm like Pandora is not a world for me. Mm-hmm. And so I want to spend more time with the human things and seeing them. And then you have a bunch of idiots in stilt suits looking like idiot. And then what's her name? Edie Falco comes out of a car in a stilt suit and puts her robot hands on her robot hips. And as the aforementioned Darnell mentioned, she walks out of a car, meaning she was sitting in that car in her stilt suit and then had to like get up and stagger out of the car. It's so weird. It's so dumb. And there's also something, there's also something deeply hypocritical about these movies for me. Because it's seeming to really be the Na'vi are about peace and nature and one with nature and harmony. And yet the lesson that everyone learns in this movie is, nope, you do have to fight. Violence is the answer. And guess what? The battles are some of the best parts. But I feel like James Cameron wants to have it both ways. He wants to have this wonderful Fern Gully kind of beautiful, let's all make a Terrence Malick movie out in the wilderness, but then also these massive machine guns from Alien and weird like cyber trucks that are rolling over places. He wants both. And I just don't know you can have both. Doesn't that seem weird of like, yay, they're fighting. That's an actual line.
Yeah.
Yay, people are dying now. Yay. Weird.
This is against everything that the ideology of the first 2 hours of the movies are trying to set up.
Yeah.
Yes. I do. I mean, I think thematically that is where the spine of the movie tends to break. And you just pointed the first, right? This environmental corruption. What harsh conditions do to indigenous cultures, right? When they're faced with the direct confrontation of an inverse ideology. The Ash people, we're trying to make them sympathetic antagonists, right? That they are survivalists versus their spiritual connection, which they have let go of. Trying to say that, the absence of the spiritual connection means you are somehow broken and open to corruption.
Right.
I fundamentally disagree with that, right? I just think that's a weird thing that this group represents. And Jake as a parent, we've made Jake a completely overbearing and controlling parent.
Yeah.
And then we have the generational sort of identity trauma. There is a big arc in this movie where, Zoe Saldana's character has to get over the fact that she's a deep, deep racist.
I didn't even think about it that way, but yeah.
So
she kind of sucks. She's incredibly intolerant.
She is. She's woefully intolerant. And yet, I think her performance. I like Zoe Saldana. I think she's really, really good as a performer, and I'm down to watch her. But I was very conflicted by her place, especially because it asked that question. You are overtly challenging Spider through his identity crisis. Where does he belong? And yet, Jake, am also like, I just look like you, so you're not. You don't have that offense, but I'm still Spider. Like I'm still white boy underneath all this. Right. And so how does the ideology it hit you guys? This thematic spine.
You only get a few seconds to think about it, and this is the real problem with this, because it takes a moment to sort of sprinkle this out there and then abandons it completely because there'll be some big action sequence. So everything is driven by the events, not about any particular character struggle or identity or anything. And so there'll be those moments of like, oh, we're going to delve into this. And it's like, oh, no, here comes Quaritch, here comes Ash people, here comes big guns. And so now we've got to have a cool battle sequence. So I don't have time to bother contemplating or thinking about that anymore. These characters don't have a lot of depth to them. And I think that's the big problem, because we could tell a really meaningful story because there are all these issues there, but it never takes the time to do that. And there's too many of them as well. We've got environmental messages. There's probably like 5 different themes we could delve into here. Yeah. Pick 1 or 2 and let's really explore them. But it's like a movie with ADD. It's like, oh wait, no, there's big guns over here. Oh, there's water over here. We're going to go ride something. And so it just falls apart, and it will then revisit tropes that are familiar from the prior movies. Or if you caught it, his nod to Aliens at the end when Sigourney Weaver's character says, "Get away from her, you bitch," and her little tether goes. I was like, really? We're doing that? Oh my God. I just was so done with that. I was like, he's really going back to the well for what worked for me before.
The production design in that regard too, Steve, like many of the ships and wheelie machines and the loaders, they really borrow from that franchise.
Yeah. One of the reasons maybe this feels so disposable is it's like world building cosplay. Like it looks like it's world building, but it's not. It's just throwing a bunch of stuff on the screen. Whereas things like Star Wars, you get the sense that there's deep historical thought about every single character and where they are in the universe. If James Cameron has done that, and that was a big part of that, he was saying that this universe he's creating on Pandora, he has notebooks about every single, flower, every single thing. Yeah. None of that is on screen. No. Everyone just shows up, says their one defining thing, and then that's it. And then everyone else talks the same or says the word bro 90 times. So it's not really world building for that same way, because no one is allowed to have backstory, because you have to set your watch for the next 10 minutes later, there has to be some sort of a chase scene.
Right. If he dumped out a series of like YA novels that really delved into this. I mean, they're great, 20 volumes of it. Kids will eat it up. But to give that depth something, because I would probably be along for that ride, because there's so many interesting things. The whole idea of the people of Ash, that they can take their tail things and connect them to somebody else and sort of steal their whatever aura or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Spirit control.
that like, whoa, that's heavy duty. Like, how do is that something that everybody knew about? Is that something that they just figured out on their own? I mean, that's like black magic type stuff. And it's like, oh, what does that really mean to like Neytiri? What does she think about that? How does that affect them? Explore that.
But none of it is explored.
It's in a binder somewhere, maybe, but I'd like to really see that. I was like, that's cool. That's one of those cool ideas that just didn't become anything else.
Jake is still the protective warrior father. He hasn't really grown since the first movie. Neytiri is still the fierce protective mother. Now she's grieving. She gets a little bit of a change arc. The children age but don't grow, right? Like I feel like they're cosmetically a little bit different, but I don't get any sense that they're doing anything beyond, as you said, Scoobying it up.
Right.
Quaritch is a troubling character because his motivation has shifted, but there is no coherent, really, development that would explain why.
Right.
He is omnidirectionally sort of incoherent warmonger.
Right.
Well,
yeah, he's like one really great line where he's like, "Give me a ship," and she's like, "I gave you a ship. It's at the bottom of the ocean." But then that is also dropped. Like, there's no why is he still in charge? Why is he in charge of anything? I don't.
Especially when he goes native, like he accused Sully of in the first one. It's like, well, you're a hypocrite. You just critiqued Sully for that, but now you're in the Na'vi body. It's like, oh, you're going to do that. I mean, it's what is his goal? I don't get a sense. But they tried to play up the whole father-son thing with Spider. He's a storytelling tool. What do we need to have happen? Great. We'll twist Porch to do that at this point. Is I just felt like there was so much of, I've got these pieces on the board. I need something to happen. Well, I'll just make this. I'll mash these two together. I'll twist this to do that so that it can go to where I want it to go. That nothing felt organic in terms of character or story or logic with anything.
So Quaritch specifically at the end of the movie, I mean, there's a bit of a roller coaster dynamic between Quaritch and Sully in this movie. They have to come together to protect Spider. They have fights. They have chases. Right. Is he going to bring him in? Are they going to arrest him? Right. How's the relationship going to work out? At the very end, Quaritch, I mean, I guess he takes his own life, but I don't know. Maybe he'll come back as a plant next time. He has ended himself, and I think it was supposed to be read as noble. Did you guys get nobility in Quaritch's demise? Did you care?
No.
I took that as I took that as, he rolled off, and it's like, okay, so we don't see it. So I'm like, okay, well, that's, if they need him for the next one, great. If this is the last one, then we could write that as he died. I mean, it's really ambiguous. You could take it either way, because it wasn't like he was rolling into a pit of fire or something like that. Really, it was just like they got another clone. They'll clone him again, right? They'll grow him another body, So it's not like he's dead.
That's the part that feels diabolical.
And his choice was like, oh yeah, I didn't feel any nobility in that. It just felt like Quaritch being, I don't want to say cowardly, but it's just like he's got his scruples about who he thinks he's supposed to be or something like that. And that's defined his action. I don't know. I honestly barely remember the circumstances of that decision to really speak much about it.
I mean, the way I had to go back and just like, I had to read the Wikipedia plot summary because I wanted to see how this third party would interpret that last sequence. And it does say, when Neytiri and her children arrive, Quaritch leaps off the rock in defiance.
He let go and fell off, as I recall.
In defiance.
Yeah, I think it was more of a nesty kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. The other character, the other actor performance that's important, I think, to talk about is Sigourney Weaver. Because Sigourney Weaver is a national treasure, very, very much into working with James Cameron, says she will say yes to whatever he wants to do, and has made an extraordinary commitment to playing a motion capture teenager, Kiri, at the age of 75.
So uncomfortable. I was just, it made me so uncomfortable the entire time. And then she makes out with Spider. I was like, get out of here. Watching Sigourney Weaver's voice come out of that teenage blue weirdo reminded me of The Irishman and seeing a supposedly young Robert De Niro walk like an old man and try to like not bend over at the hip because he'll snap something. It's really, really uncomfortable. And for me, it's embarrassing because I like her so much, but she's saddled just with Mother, no, Mother, why, Mother Earth, Mother, like just over just the most boring, bland, and she does not have a lot of great expression through her character's face. Unlike Zoe Saldana, unlike Ash McGee, she seems just sort of like she's sort of beaming all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Yeah. There's not enough going on there. And so you're just left with an older woman's voice. And it's so off-putting. I hated it.
What is the film's ideology as told through Kiri about their religion?
I couldn't
like I said, like I said, I didn't understand because she's the mystery birth child or whatever. Her origins are mysterious and whatnot. And so it's this whole battle of like whenever she connects, like she has these seizures because Aowa is rejecting her for something. I'm like, well, you really need to delve into that, because if she's like this sort of like Aowa, immaculate conception child, then why is she being rejected? Or if there's some reason she hasn't done something that she needs to do to access that true power of nature's child that she has, then we need to understand what she does to do that or needs to do that. And all it is Sully stick together and the three of them can push through. And I don't know what that has to do with anything. And so I didn't understand the ideological choice of, was this the next generation? Is this like, I don't know what she's supposed to represent for the Na'vi or their faith, religion, spirituality thing or whatever. Is she the chosen one? Is she like Neo? Is she going to be the next leader to lead them? Right. Yeah. There was not enough of that because we just got confused puberty teenager type thing of like, I don't know who I am, and I'm an outcast and they make fun of me. And I suddenly have mysterious powers that I can call up the, nature sprites around me. And that in itself is its own story to explore. But again, everything's just, Yeah,
I agree with that. Like, I think she might have been one of the more interesting sort of sub stories in this thing that could have earned promotion in terms of how much time they give her. This was a 3.5-hour movie that lost track of which the most important stories were, the stories that would have changed the dynamic of our relationship with the Na'vi, all the groups of the Na'vi, and let go at weird places. It just let go and took us to another mech battle.
I liked it when the crab robots like cracked their knuckles or whatever.
Yeah, it really bothered me this time. I'm like, when they do that, I'm thinking that metal is just crushing itself. Like, it doesn't need to do that. I mean,
I've gone on the record of my confusion about robots and what we think robots need. Robots don't need pockets. Robots don't need holsters. Robots don't need any of those things. And these guys had like a back scratcher. What are we doing?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the movie, it's not like people aren't going to see it.
Yeah.
The performance capture question has risen again, which is specifically in the case of Zoe Saldana, should she receive Oscar attention for a performance capture part? where do you guys stand on the quality of these performances? I guess we could say not necessarily in isolation, but how do they stand up against some of the better movies that you've seen? Should we give attention to Zoe for a performance capture role?
No,
Not
but I'm
in this
not
film.
against, not in this film,
Yeah.
but I'm not against,
Yeah.
like, I always thought that Gollum should have been up for an award.
I think it's coming, but yeah, we need a better script. I think she's capable of that, but
But
it
she just
was
has two
not in this
emotions.
film.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
two emotions the entire movie, and that's all she's allowed to.
Mhm.
Yeah. The fact is, for my money, the advancement in this technology does make acting more visible. And that's a great thing, right? When we're doing these kinds of characters, these creature characters. And because you can see it when you go back and watch her in Avatar versus this one. You can see how
Mhm.
much better, how much more of her I can see. I think she will not get consideration because the movie's not that great.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give her enough to work with, and that's sad. That's a really sad take on the movie. It lets down great people who work on it.
Mhm.
Box Office Mojo reports today 1.1 billion worldwide. Box
In
office.
money? No, just kidding.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trending toward 1.8, kind of in the 2 billion. It's the lowest of the three, saying because of franchise fatigue.
Yeah.
As three people who I think I could say inarguably never really got into the franchise in the first place, I don't have anything really to be tired of. I guess I'm just tired of middling to poor movies experiences.
Yes.
How much praise do you think we should be giving to the technical achievement? I mean, it's an incredible feat, and I also kind of don't think you need to see the movie.
Yeah, I look forward to it being used in a more thoughtful way.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
thought that James Cameron honestly would maybe be that person. But I mean, he's always had some shaky storytelling, some shaky dialogue,
Mhm.
but saying bro constantly, like James Cameron has to stop hanging out with his nephews. And also, like, the last line in the movie is, I'm gonna curse, but is no shit. It's the last line of dialogue in the
Yeah.
movie when what's his name turns out to be included. Like, that is so subpar. Any
Yeah.
quibbles about, like, I'm just a dandelion in the wind, like in Titanic.
Yeah.
There's always
Mhm.
clunkers in every movie, but there's always really great parts. This movie has one of those things.
Mhm.
It's just so many clunkers and nothing, and then just so much weird bland, like in the very first Avatar, when the first time that we saw Stephen Lang and he says, well, we're not in Kansas anymore. And it's like,
Yeah.
everyone's still watching Wizard of Oz in the future. This is stupid. Like, it's just not measuring up. It just seems so
Yeah.
weirdly lazy and first drafty. So no, I mean, I really thought that he would be able to handle it, and he seems to have no interest in the storytelling.
I mean, what I would hope for is what he did with Titanic, which was then he
Mhm.
took that film and then he did a whole bunch of other stuff related to
Yeah.
undersea and all of that. I would love him to take everything that he's developed with creating the world of the various environments of Pandora and do something with that, whether it's a theme park, some immersive experience, because if there is all that rich biology, I mean, I remember after the second one, the underwater, all of that, I'm like, if I could just have, virtual experience of swimming through this and interacting with these creatures or whatever, that would be really fascinating. That would be really fun to do some type of immersive experience. That's the spectacle of this film, is being in those places. If I could go there and be like, yeah, I don't need the story. Let me just wander around like open world, ride wind trader ship and do those things. That would be amazing.
And
if
it
in your
does
Vision
exist.
Pro, yeah. Oh,
It's
it
in
does?
Orlando. I've been to
Oh, okay.
I've been to
Okay.
Pandora in Animal Kingdom. The ride where it's I don't know what these are called, the hippogriffs, whatever these
Flight.
dragons are that they're trying.
Oh, yeah.
Flight
Okay.
Is the
passage.
coolest ride that I've ever been on, because you're
okay.
riding them. You put on glasses. You can feel you're in like what looks like kind of like on a little motorcycle rig, but it's breathing.
Mhm. Oh,
And then
okay.
there's wind effects that actually work and smell effects. Like, it's incredible. That's what you
Okay.
want to see.
Yeah. keep bringing that. Yeah.
So I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm saying that
No,
you're
no.
exactly right. And then walking around Pandora at night, it all gets twinkly and everything starts glowing.
Yeah.
And he does some effects where it really looks like these rocks are floating in the world.
wow.
So it's everything that is incredible in real life that is instantly numbing in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get a sense that it almost feels like the movie was made as a stress test for future exhibits at Disney.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Walking amongst the incredibly immersive environment. It is gorgeous. And I would eat some satuli at the Satuli canteen in okay. Of course, I'm acknowledging that this is the not made for me part of the conversation. This is a franchise that just doesn't connect. We're in late stage Cameron, and it feels like all pastiche of past stuff that he's made. But what do you think about this argument that giving a filmmaker unlimited canvas actually ends up being a limiting factor?
Oh, creativity always prospers and benefits from restrictions. It always does. So when you've got to come up with something, it forces you to make decisions. When you have no choices to make, then you just go with whatever, and that decision may be bad versus like, okay, I can have this or this. If I just have it all, it just becomes like the buffet of too much. And there's, what is it? I mean, if everything happens, then nothing's happening, right? I mean, there's nothing. And I think that's the problem with this. I had hoped for more because I really enjoyed the first one in the franchise. And when I heard there was plans for more and just all the, drafting that out, I thought, great. And then when, Way of Water, I'm like, it's been this long. They really took time on their story. No, they did. That's the disappointing thing for me in this franchise because I really enjoyed the potential that I saw in some of the first one, and it's disappointing. But I hope that the technology that maybe we will get motion capture, maybe that will raise the bar for animation. What I don't want to see is it being used with like AI actors. Like, great, we're gonna bring in Gene Kelly and we're gonna really make this. I don't need that. What I need is this to really a new division of like anime and animation is like really go with that, but with the focus on story first. That's what for me film always has to be. Is all in service of the story.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Gene Kelly Navi. Why not?
Hanging out, drinking a Pepsi.
Yeah.
I'd give that to him.
Dancing with a broom or whatever.
Yeah, sure. Definitely dancing with a broom. Okay. Well, now we have to do that thing.
Yeah.
Where we visit our friends at letterboxd.com, letterboxd.com/thenextreel. That's where you can find all of the movies that we've talked about and reviewed on across the family of Next Reel film shows. What are you going to do for this movie? How are you going to rate it? Are you going to really gut the Mountain Banshee?
It's hard because of the technical achievement is staggering, but would you like me to go first? I'm sorry,
yeah, sure. You win.
Okay. I forgot how discussions work. I have trouble respecting something where you make the easy part hard and the hard part easy. Like, the technical achievement is incredible, and that's groundbreaking, backbreaking, involves, like you said, a crew of zillion people all working together towards a singular goal, and yet you can't tell a story with any believable dialogue. I can't do it. So I'm going to say, unfortunately, 2 stars and no heart. But I would like to congratulate the crew and tell them, keep at it. Not these movies, but make something else. Make Polar Express work. I don't know, but yeah. So I just I can't go higher than that, unfortunately.
Well,
I'm never going to see this movie again.
No, I think that's a really this movie technically is going to serve as a foundation for the next 30 years of of technology and innovation in filmmaking. And that's cool. That's really, really cool. Steve?
I went back to see, because I rated it right after I saw it, and I thought, okay, where did I put that? And have things changed? And I was at 2.5, but I'm at 2, because the fact that everything is so forgettable. But there are those moments. It's not a complete, I won't watch it again, but if there was a sequence on, I may watch that. If I was, sure, it's not like, oh, this is all unbearable. There are its moments, but it's pretty much a train wreck. 2 stars, no heart.
Well, that's it. What do you say? We've run the table. I'm 2 stars, no heart as well.
Oh my goodness, 2 heart friends.
I know.
I mean, 2 star friends. Never mind.
2 star friends.
I messed up the one thing.
Yeah. Isn't that James Cameron's next movie, 2 Star Friends?
Oh, no.
2 boys in the stars. They're friends.
That sounds like Zack Snyder's next thing. Stop it. I think this movie was. I don't know if I could actually say I'm really glad I got out to the theater to watch it. It was fun. It was. I don't think I'm going to get that time back. This franchise is not for me. If you love the Blue Man Group, you should go see Avatar. But if you want a really great movie, there are others, and that's the spirit we're going to end with here on the Film Board. What are we doing next month, Steve?
We are continuing in our horror visitation of that franchise that's been around for these past how many years?
Oh,
I don't know. Go back. Yes, we're going to visit Scream 7. Sidney Prescott is back to answer more phones and hide out and run and chase him. We will be on board for that.
So is Courtney Cox.
Yes.
That's the thing, right? Although the tagline, you know what the tagline of this movie is? Burn it all down. I might be here for that.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for downloading and listening to this show. If the conversation sent you down a rabbit hole or reminded you of other films circling the same ideas, we do a lot of that work over on The Next Reel and across the other shows of the Next Reel family of film programs, where we dig into films and filmmakers that built the language of these movies. You can find everything we do as part of that Next Reel family at thenextreel.com. And if this is your first time here because of this movie, please stick around. We only do this once a month, and we try to be picky on purpose. So maybe Scream 7 will be a real winner. Thanks, everybody. Meeting adjourned.
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and I, we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Deaf Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.